Hey, it's Mike with Cross Country Mortgage, and it's time for your Monday morning mortgage update for the week of July the 17th. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. I had a great weekend. Got up into the mountains out of the heat, still up here. Had a great mountain bike ride, and so I hope you are taking care of yourself, not getting too hot, and enjoying this great outdoors. So let's talk about what happened in the market last week and what's going to happen this week. I always try to give you tools, tips, tactics, things that you can do, conversations that you can have when you're talking to your buyers and sellers to be more impactful in this crazy market. So what happened last week? Last week actually was really good. We had a 91 point improvement in the basis points. So basically what that means is on Monday, if I quoted you a rate and it was 1 point or 0.91 points, on Friday, it was par, meaning no points. That's how much of an improvement it was. And so we haven't seen this. In the 3 weeks prior to last week, we've seen rates go up and up and up. But what happened last week? Why did we see such an improvement in the basis points, which translates to better rates? Because two reports came out. I always talk to you about these CPI and PPI, the Consumer Price Index, which really measures how consumers spend, and the PPI, the Producers Price Index, which measures how much manufacturers pay for their stuff. And both of those numbers were down year over year. Now, a lot of people didn't expect this to have a great impact on rates, but it had a great impact. And why? Because that shows the economy is weakening a little bit and inflation is coming down. And a weaker economy and lower inflation means better rates. So we're going to really see if this is going to hold. This week is a blackout week, so none of the Fed members can say anything about what they think the economy is going to do into next week's FOMC meeting, which they expect to raise rates. But again, that's fighting inflation. That's not raising mortgage rates. So what are the three things that we're going to talk about this week? The three reports are retail sales, manufacturing, and then G20, the big 20 top economies that are talking about what's happening around the world. So retail sales, going to get a lot of retail sales reports coming out, and they're going to show a couple things. How much consumers are spending, or are they spending more? And why is this important? Because if they're spending more money, that means they're buying more stuff. If they're just paying more, that means inflation is high, and that's bad for rates. So if these retail sales are up, that's not great for rates. If retail sales are down, that means a weakening economy and inflation's coming down, and that's good for rates. So we'll be watching those retail sales reports. Manufacturing, a lot of manufacturing news from around the country. Different regions talk about, are businesses making more stuff? And if they're making more stuff, that's a boost to the economy. That's not good for rates. And if they're making less stuff, then that is a weakening economy. We expect these numbers actually to be down a little bit. And then the last thing is the G20. All the countries are meeting this week, and it's the top 20 economies, and they're going to talk about inflation and their economies and everything. And actually, this has an ability to move rates. So it's not something we hear a lot about in the news. It's more political stuff, but depending on what they say, could actually influence what our Fed members do next week in the meeting. And the Fed's meeting again next week, starting on Tuesday, ending on Wednesday, to talk about raising the Fed fund rate. And of course, that fights inflation. So a lot of stuff leading into that meeting next week. It's kind of a flat news week. Not a lot of things that could move rates significantly. So we're starting the day floating, starting the week floating. If something changes, we'll let you know. Have a fantastic, productive week. I hope you all enjoy the great outdoors, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.